Recording in progress. Okay. What you got? Oh, you have to say, got it, thank you. Mark is here doing, well, he's walking away now because he doesn't need to really be in the meeting. So as far as I know, we're all here. Sally didn't say I'm attending virtually, so this would be recorded. Sally can listen if she wants to. I brought these though. So where should we start? Let me go back to this if I don't mind. I'm gonna steal this. I just thought we'd go over the few things that we had. All went well with the open house. It was awesome, right? That was nice. And then skipping down to our next steps, it was bonding. So I have spoken with Joe Miller about this, and I talked to him on the phone. He's like, oh yeah, we'll do that. I have to talk to somebody now. I'll let him know about your project and I'll get back to you and I come back. It's okay. It's been vacationing too. And I think I did talk to him the week before Thanksgiving. It may have even been the Monday.
And who's Joe Miller?
I'm sorry, he's the school, he's the chief financial officer for Whitesboro Central School District. So I did talk to him and he was not like, no, that he wasn't a naysayer or anything, but I think that it was most likely. Like I should have written down when I talked to him, I probably did. But it might have been, say, the Thursday before the vacation break, and people have lives. So I will get back to him. He did ask me how much I thought it was. And I said, well, I don't have any idea. So I called Julie on the phone. Actually, I sent her an email. She has Marshall. I said, so Julia, do you think you could give me an estimate on this project, give or take $1 million? Like talking to you, but I mean, really, I don't know. I don't know, give or take $1 million. And she called me, she said, oh, I can get an engineer's estimate. Just want your professional opinion with square footage, and you have a rough idea of what we're doing. And she said, I did. So anyway, this was, she said, well, I did do one with square footage. It comes up to like 1.8 million. I said, all right. I mean, it's like, right, would you have just landed flat on the ground 20 years ago? Somebody said that to me, but it isn't bad. It's kind of like that. Wow. What we got to in White Farmhouse was like 400, right? That's already built. But that had to be taken apart and put back together. So in fairness, that was kind of a mess. I thought, wow, that's kind of doable. I don't know if it's doable. We have construction grants are 6 years, but I don't know if we could phase it such that it would be functional space in intermittent functional space. So I need to look into that. But even if we had this bonded money, we could use it. And if we don't use it, we just, pay it back. So that was, I don't know all that there is. I don't know how to guide you on that because I really haven't talked to Joe again. And he said, well, if you have a finance person or do you have a whoever, this bonding person? I said, well, do you have a bonding person? He said, yeah, it's great. I said, okay, can we use the same one? He said, yeah. I said, okay. So let's do that. Right? So exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Well, my thought, and sometimes they come to fruition, my thoughts, is that we would build what we did when we built the foyer. We built the shell, and we put carpet on the bottom floor. In theory, we stopped. What we did is we put the grants together. So I don't know what year it was, but say 2017 was a 2-story foyer. It didn't include stairs, and it didn't include breaking into the elevator. The next year, we put the stairs in and the elevator. But when we did the project, we did them at the same time. So we did 1 year, and so we took pictures of the shell and we took pictures of the entryway so people could walk. We didn't take pictures of the sides, but we actually kind of had them before the stairs were in. But they knew
before the stairs and the elevator.
Yes, we could. But in theory, we didn't really use it much.
Yeah.
You could walk through it, but what we did is we finished one project like on a Friday
And started the next.
instead of the next one on a Monday. We did that a couple different times. We did that when we took the house down.
Yeah.
And so we didn't, the state didn't help us with the tearing down the house because they don't like that. But we took all the trees down, we excavated, we put in drainage. So that was 1 year. And then the next year was putting in, say, all other stuff like the foundations around, and that took like 3 projects to do that parking lot. Well, we purchased the house, that was it. We purchased the house, was 1 year, I think. I don't know, there's a few more things in there, and then we did the excavating and all the ground disturbance in the next year, and then we did. So there was a lot of stuff that happened. Electrical went underneath the ground, the drainage went under the ground, all that. And then the next year, we paved and put in the light fence.
You know, we're very far apart from any of this stuff.
No,
Yes.
No, we were able to purchase the house and take trees down, and then we stopped, right? Because that could stop. And we could have truly stopped with the crush run. But we didn't really want to open that parking lot till we had proper lighting.
Yeah.
But in theory, we could have used it the way it was, but that literally was, we took pictures of it with the crush run. And they literally came in like 2 days later and started to pay. So we can do something like that with this addition, and they've extended it. It used to be 3 years you had, now it's 6. So what does that mean? I think it means we could do a shell, which means we'd have to have the doors and the windows, and we have to do whatever we need to do to make sure we didn't go backwards. Does that make sense? Like we want to, we might need to insulate, and we might need to, but we might need to wait. So, okay, so we don't do anything for a couple of years. And we save up, right? So it's like the first year is the shell, and then the second year is, I don't know, insulation or carpeting or whatever. And the third year is yet something else. And then what we have to do is an interim report or something saying, okay, we've managed to do the plans and this and that. But what we would do is put all 3 of those years together, boom. And then we would create something. And then maybe the 4th year would be, I don't know, we might be able to do it in 3 years. We've done these projects, it's 1.8, it's a lot though. I'm trying to figure out like
Taxpayers for 1.8.
probably, I don't know all of this yet. Correct. Well, what we will do is we will continue to try to get construction grants, and as long as they keep flowing.
Yeah.
Which I think at least the next 2 years they will.
Right.
So, we'll see what's gonna happen. What's our next one? Well, those are already kind of approved. So what are they? We're going to, the ones we just did were more bathrooms. So the community room and that office area to the side are going to be all redone. So the 2 bathrooms at the event, we have money for that. That's already kind of set. Correct. Next July is when we would try to propose something like this. We wouldn't necessarily do much with it. We would just get it approved and write the grant for it and then sit on it for a year and then write the next one so that they can go together. So we can like take advantage of the money.
For 1 year, and then you apply for another one and get 2 grants, both active.
Yes.
And
So it's right, this one's gonna happen.
1 year would be ending, the other one would be starting.
Yes.
And
Okay, the thing is, we have to be able to go through with it. If for whatever reason, they're gonna say, do you have enough money to go forth and do this? And we've always had enough money to do this. we've never wanted to spend that. Like, we're like, oh, that would get tight, right? But we kind of were confident, I mean, York was confident that all would be well. So we kind of took a gamble. Our gambles have been not very difficult, right? It's pretty much, if we can get it past New York, they're almost positive it'll go through. So, you know, some things, even if they say, oh, no, that's not really good, but you have to use that towards your match. Right, so that's fine too. Sometimes we do that, like we took the house down and they didn't allow that expense, but they allowed it as a match. So it cost us $35,000 to take the house down, and that was our portion of the grant.
So this money can go on, it's 1.8.
Which we might not have to ask for all of it. We don't know yet. I would not just, I'm not gonna say, we haven't talked to Joe, we haven't talked to the bonding people. May. It's May. I know.
Yeah, they should get, I would concerned about it, they should get about it. The PR.
I know.
How are we gonna convince people it's necessary? We'd like to do it, but
It's necessary. So,
and that's what they talk about. There's something because I remember when we were all that. Especially if you yeah, and because when they did it before with all of this.
yeah, how close was it then?
Down house is on their water. Everybody knew you needed to do like, you could hardly walk around. You know, and everybody knew that, and that was a time when a lot of life was expanding away from that old dish and telling everything into something modern. And that was, I don't think that was a hard sell. It might have been a hard sell for people who moaned about how much money it was, and like blah, blah. But it wasn't really. People believed that it needed to be different.
Right.
But I'm not sure we believe it needs to be different now.
That's fair, because I know that things have gone up, like I just did school votes, like at home, I know we wanted to put in a new field at home, yeah, because it was all
Yeah.
marshy and wet, and annoying. And they did, I thought, a lot of PR for that, and it failed. If they think it eventually did the next year.
Yeah, essentially, but the thing is, people are convinced that it's necessary.
Right,
And the truth is. it's Not really.
sometimes, you know what, meeting room spaces in
Yeah,
demand,
yeah.
and the reason it's not crowded is because we turn them away. So we need statistical information about how we turn them away, but people might not hear them, you know, me.
So, so that.
We need to
Part of the
statistically,
Yeah.
we need to show.
But that doesn't mean that's all they're gonna be there for that day or that week, or that you can't plan.
So how do we promote? How do we promote?
And then some approaches between how they put it and how we do it, because. Like I said, obvious, you know.
Oh, so
obvious.
And statistically for a, okay, for a certain area this size, there's ranges of how much space there should be for. And so I can get that too. No, but I need that devil's advocate, people need that.
So I agree with you there. They come in and have a book and that's it. And they're like, well, hell, they don't know, we don't need everyone. I know, we have to be able to show. Graphically, I mean, or in pictures or something, yes. You need to use it. Because that's what they all do.
It was a big thing.
And so I don't know where done.
And how was that
Well,
something?
you know, we were voted down,
Or were we?
well, publicly. When I was president, they wanted to go over the meeting. What was the whole project? No, well,
The funding. I'm sure they didn't care if we found funding.
we're not thinking the elevator. Oh, right, okay. That was before people were. So now we're gonna.
No, they should have worried about it. It was in the 90s, I think.
What are we gonna do?
Oh,
That's a
so we need to show them pictures of what the upstairs looks like. Yeah.
good plan. Wow. Yeah.
Mhm.
Space.
Okay, so
And then once
this
we open up,
this is upstairs. And how does it, what's gonna be open?
there's a downstairs space, and something can go upstairs, but downstairs now. Right?
Basically adult space.
Yeah.
We didn't really allow any, like this space gets used during our book club and, you know, I mean, it's not that we can't use it because it's usually at 2 o'clock. So at a time that kids aren't coming in. But, so there's a larger community room going on upstairs, and then there's an information desk and that sort of thing, but we can show that in the book sale. The book sale, gets no respect. It's been everywhere.
Well, people ask me about that. The book sale, where is it? Like, just go look.
I know, they'll show it to you. It moves all around, because it's wherever it
Did you
fits, and it's gonna move again, because we're gonna replace the carpeting underneath. So it will be fair, totally fair, but we do need to prove that we need it, and we kind of need to go and I guess promote it in some way, and I'm not really sure how you promote it, the elevator, did you go to Lions Clubs?
We get together some information about like what you said, we get to do the way.
Yes, so the next time you turn somebody away, let us know what could happen, and we do.
And the times when you have to shift something because this is,
We will tell you during the book. So we had, the ARP was in there, and then the knitters went into that little room over there, and then we were over here. So it does certain times of the day, it does.
Maybe we should keep a record of people.
Of when they Definitely.
So each day, let's say each day you're gonna call or you want to use something, we don't have room. So this is proof of they call in a month, 30 minutes, we can't.
We can't, well, I know we can't accommodate everybody we want. Yeah. And what is that? At least a running tally, but for the remainder.
At some point, we have to mention, although everyone's tired of it, the fact that during COVID, there weren't many people going out and about. And so if you look, say, well, I was here 6 months ago. Blah, blah, blah. Well, no, because of COVID, people have options,
Right.
of like all the programs, a lot of the programs, it's like, would you like?
But the takeout programs really,
Yeah.
right, but the space itself that we were utilizing, but then you need to be a little bit. Like you want a bigger space, right? You don't want to be stuck in that little room with 8 people.
Another,
And there is,
another question maybe to answer for the public, why is the library the space for people to meet? Why is?
because it's part of.
Because it's a part of the community.
Whatever you said about
Yeah.
community.
Everybody's welcome, right? Otherwise, it's a commercial space. You have to pay for
Right,
it.
otherwise you're gonna burn it over with books.
Right, but it's hard to have a meeting there and have a robust conversation. So we have to prove that.
Yes. Oh, tapes.
See, it does.
Yeah, then, they need to be moved somewhere. Out there, and they need to talk to me.
They actually believe it. I wish they weren't. They are smaller, actually Herman wants to be tapped, he has to move it from their new carpet.
Yeah.
It's in a spot that needs to, gonna be part of the record. And we think that over the next couple of years, it will go. And our magazine space uses a lot of space, but we currently, we'll be taking those down for this next renovation. And we'll probably put them in Princeton boxes, those square boxes. They could, it exists. It is. Actually, we saw that, Kim and I saw, we went to the Saratoga Public Library. And we went to Washington, because those were 2 libraries that, whatever, noteworthy libraries. And how they displayed that, and they had something forward facing, but it was really in a cabinet. I don't know if it was any deeper than this, maybe 24 inches deep, and it went up. And so there was room for the one forward facing, and then there were the magazines behind it, similar, but a lot of space to be used for display. So
Eventually that will fade.
it'll fade, like when we do this will happen in February. We're starting the construction on that side. Thank you. I know. It's gone to touch it.
Because,
Yeah.
more is right.
There are pluses with, so if you sign up for Wildberry, they'll send you all the things, and Libby also has magazines in it. But you do have to have a screen big enough to appreciate it, or you have to, blow it out. The fun thing is though, there are links that go within, so it makes it more robust, but it's still, you're looking at a screen. So there are people that just want to sit on the couch. They just want to sit on the couch and flip through magazines. So we will, they're weeding themselves out. though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure.
We do, because we will have magazines that are, it's like, oh yeah, but they've discontinued this in a print format or whatever.
Well, it's not, because
I know. There are, the actual print books are very popular. I would say it's interesting, our CDs are the ones that, because a lot of people have Pandora or something of that nature, but we do have people who choose not to have it, right? So we're still catering heavily to them, thus the DVDs, so they're not paying for streaming service. Classic tunes like show tunes and the soundtracks and things, because you don't, it's hard. I don't think it works well with that. Well, if you go and say, I want the soundtrack to whatever, but will it mix it up and go to the next one? I didn't really thought. Okay. I mean, I did like Barbara Streisand, but then she'll go and then Neil Diamond will come up and then somebody else will come up, which is fine. It's fine. But I think, can you, like say if you're a music student and you want to play the violin to whatever, and you want to go over that and over that and over whatever, for what reason you might want.
I think you can, I don't know how to do it. I do it but she does it, but I don't know what.
Me too.
I have Amazon Music too.
Yeah, I don't use anything to get, the only other things I use are some things that sometimes they Amazon, if you really like an artist, you like a certain piece. And Amazon will play a live concert of it. Which is different, and that's fine. It doesn't sound the same. I don't really- I get it.
Oh, they- Mine was on my TV the other day. Yeah. Right, I did it. I usually just turn the TV on in the kitchen and I'll put in more. There's another one in the spare room where there's a puzzle set up, so we'll do it there. Just, there is not, this is, we are not walking through anymore, so that's gonna change. But otherwise, we'll have this bathrooms going in soon. And then this will be part of that. We obviously have to build this before we can put that bathroom in. So. Yeah, I know, but this is the talk about the, right, we do. Like, we need another community. Yes,
Physical.
see, I think that we will most likely take these tables and chairs up. No, but we have about 30 of these chairs, 30 of the chairs like you're sitting in the basement because I can't get rid of them. I was like, we should put these in the dumpsters. We're like $250 chairs and they're old, but they held up, you know, and even if we put a new laminate on top and make it like artsy or something, I don't know, I'm not ready to get rid of these. Right, but that will go, so what's upstairs is, well, in the second story foyer, we're gonna have a bathroom in the next 6 months, right? So we'll have that finished, but this part, we're going to put a reference office upstairs. So that will be most likely to say Jamie and Dennis or something of that nature. And then so the computers, those computers will go upstairs, I think, or we'll be kind of gravitating a little bit maybe to laptops or something of that nature. But we will, but we don't really have we do kind of have a lounge upstairs on the second floor foyer, but pretty soon we'll be walking through it, so we'll lose a little of that. And then, so maybe a study room, kind of quiet area for people to, right now, there is a lady who goes up there quite a bit. She has her laptop and she sits up there by the window. But we have some of the computer actually going up
Because you can't people who work after work, started downstairs. And
This is, we kind of designed it to be the children's room, but it has to be the everybody room. It's okay, I mean, people, they deal. And I do think that we will get back to that, you know, kind of a work cafe of sorts that will, I know they put them in apartment buildings and things like that. So it's a project manager for an apartment. Or I don't know, residential buildings. So they have like a work cafe and they want people to live upstairs. And this is an awesome added feature. So they don't move, right? They don't move. They say, oh, I work from home, but I can go downstairs and I can work from this spot. And there's a fax machine and there's a printer and all I have to do is go down there and there's the Wi-Fi is there. So that water cooler talk can happen even if you're not working for the same company. So I think there's going to still be this 50-50 or something work from home. If you happen to be one of those people that works on a computer, but we would be able to, I don't know, like that room over there could be a bit more of a conference room in the future. Right now, it acts a bit more like a community room because it has to, but that book sale and storage. So we don't really allow for that. And right now we've got book sale, storage over there, and we have storage. Carts take up space and you need carts. You need to go somewhere. Yes, we have room in the basement, but you know, people want them to be accessible. So you know that we need this space. So I said,
so one of the things we need to remind everybody is that when the original plans were done, this is part of the plan.
yeah.
There's a purpose.
Well, we also have to replace this room. Okay, if we don't do this, we really have to replace it. We're beyond, we are beyond.
Yeah.
But we also, like, when I had her do this, I said, okay, will you please do it in such a way that if we're able, you know, we could put solar panels on there, that kind of thing. So make sure that if we need, I don't know, whatever, if we need 8 just to hold the snow, maybe do 10. I have no idea, I'm just speaking words, but that little bit of beefed up structural support so that we could put solar panels, because if we do, I have looked at these. And that's an investment too that we could do. That could be yet another construction grant. New York State loves, because if we spend $200,000 and we never have an electric bill. So then we're not paying an electric bill on an annual basis, or you know, on a monthly basis. So we would save money in the long run with that. So we have, she has that kind of rolled into the structural of that.
So what you're looking at is just.
This is downstairs of the whole building. This is all of it downstairs. So you can see the road. This is where your hand is done. See that little foyer, the yellow foyer? So we just renovated all that. And then this part is where the steps are. So the colors are like patron oriented, so that's like reading, and then this pink area that's where we're sitting. We're sitting right here. And then that's the community room, which is being kind of restructured since we did those drawings a little bit. We're knocking out that we were going to do something different, but basically it's going to become public space. It's just going to look a little different than that drawing, because these were done from 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. So we changed. Now this is what goes above the stacks, so it lines up. So this is Dunham House upstairs, and this is when we walk through that foyer, and this is the elevator, this is the stairwell, and then we walk in. Like right, they're going to put a bathroom above the other bathroom. Then you walk in, and there's just a seating area, which is a pleasant place to sit. And from here, we're going to walk out onto the roof. If you want to, we're gonna have like that rooftop patio, and in this area is gonna be just, I don't know, rooftop garden. Maybe there's gonna be the HVAC is gonna be there, or maybe this is gonna be an outside like a courtyard. Kind of like in school, you know, you have that courtyard and you say, well, you could really use the space, but it allows windows. So the windows, these fan windows stay, because so we will see that. still as outside space. And then this is a community room, and if you look at that community room, it's a little bigger than half. But it has light, outdoor light, and then this would be secondary light coming through here. So it wouldn't feel like you were in a cave like you do now. This right here, this is like a classroom idea, like we could sit, this group could sit right there. That's right now, actually 6 tables. So you'd be able to have book club there, right? It's not, you don't have to be in a closed off room. But over here is the stairway going down, so that'll go out. This is the book sale storage. And then this is the book sale room, because people will go to the ends of the earth to get the book sale. So, yeah. I mean, it's off the beaten path, but maybe if it's set up in a way that it's a bit more like a bookstore, maybe we could get volunteers who might come and sit out in there, like we could get sets of 2 and they could have tea and, then there'd be somebody watching, so they're not stuffing the books in their purse. Okay, so that is downstairs, and so some of these seating areas there, it's probably just more of the space. So, okay, we turn people away right now. Okay, the book sale needs a home. And we're creating, so the book sale right now is taking up that space over there, the orange, the blue and all that. It's taking up a lot of storage. So we're gonna take that and put it upstairs. And then there's gonna be another one of these, for example, because we really could have used 2 of these. So we're putting in a little more community meeting space. So that would be meeting space or teaching space. There's a wall here and we could put, a TV on the wall like that. We could have that just attached to the wall. So if we had a meeting that involved people coming in, there are so many things that we don't do.
It should be more conducive to like a school group coming here or something. Because like this thing would be freed up and you have kids. coming,
Yeah.
it could be-
That's great.
I'm just wondering, will the people that come here would they be able to? Yeah, I was in here, somebody was over here.
So right along the wall, so we need a hallway. So either we put the tables on the side towards the window, or we can put them here. Or they can meet here, that's the normal. As soon as you put one person will sit at this table. Unless it's a meeting, but yes, we can do Tutor space, but we could also put Tutor space in that little, they're on the other side. In theory, if they were over there, we could section it off and actually have it closed. But I think we could, in that little spot that's now the computer area, could be the tutoring area. We do sometimes use that as a tutoring space for students who say will go with special needs that would. The outside distractions are just too much, so they need, and they'll reserve. that.
Remember coming to watching, he's in the main area, right where the CD. Yeah. There was a table smaller than that, table, and 2 different people tutoring 2 different kids. Well, everybody is like, oh my God.
Right, they'll go down this wall too, because it's a little, so it's a similar concept, right? That will have a community room, and this might be like it, there might be windows like this. But the community room's in here and it's the door shut, right, so it's quiet. It's really pretty similar to the size of this one. I look at it. Yes, there are. We used to have homeschoolers come in. Actually, we have homeschoolers that use our digital methods, our digital work.
Yeah.
So they work with Mark, and Mark provides them a Zoom link that's emailed to them, so they are meeting virtually on a different community room link. And I think they meet Mondays, but there's other things that we don't do because we just don't have the space. Think about, like, I'm just saying, what if you want to meet with your grandchildren, right? What if you don't have, okay, yeah, you've got internet at home, but you don't know how to do this Zoom thing, right? You don't want to deal, whatever. And you could say to your family member, say, look, the library said that they will give me a link to do a meet at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so here's your email and I can do that. And you don't have to do any of it. You can come here. And we would sit you down in front of a, right? We would just sit you down. You wouldn't have to worry about, I mean, I don't know if we have staff for tech support, but we could get you started. You can just open it up and say, here.
People now come to and say, oh, wait, what do I do? You know, we have to get somebody.
Or television. Oh my gosh, and we kind of need little hooks and crayons for that. So we could, I mean, that's in the future, but it would, there was talk of, it got a little stressed about closing that little space off. I mean, I think Julia had two people could meet in a room, but maybe we could also do such a thing along the wall. I don't know. I mean, once we do this, it's not like things stop, but how is it that we can get people, even if it's,
Well, we're looking to persuade people to say,
and
this
to
is
come
important.
for something different. Yeah, but I mean, what we do now isn't all that we could do.
Right, exactly.
That's the trouble.
And then for education programs for the student space. Offer,
I mean, there's, but
or, you know, open it up.
But it's
to
full,
other
right?
businesses.
So it's full of the evening right now. Our evenings are totally full. And we do provide some things in the middle of the day. But if you come here at like 5:30 to 8, but I mean, you can do something as simple. It doesn't have to be expensive. You could do a TED Talk and people talk about the TED Talk. What did you think of that? Or you could do 3 TED Talks and, you know, pull that together and just all discuss
So we
it.
want to emphasize it, when I'm talking, emphasize all the modern things, all the computer things, all the tech things that we don't have the age to do. Because it, you know, because it can't be moving 20 different things going on, so it's trying to be more space. So, and all those things are going to appeal to people that may not use that.
They don't think to
That's important. To provide some of it, something like that. I've never been thought of that. And I do that at home. I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right, but the grandchildren come, they help you, right? And sometimes it's right now, people don't have grandchildren to come in and help. you
Yeah,
for 1 hour.
it's true. I know they don't say, oh, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Oh, one of my-
And they would, I know, that Ryan was home over something, and my mother's, you have to help with the next point. Because I've done something.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, give me your phone, Graham, we're out to lunch. And he fixed it.
I know.
They didn't even have to come to our room to do it, right? Yeah. But again, having a place, having a respectful place for volunteers to work. I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
right? So that's what, like that book sale room, it's a space that's designated. We're not like running around trying to figure that out. And again, Saratoga, friends, the library, not that we're gonna have friends, but they have volunteers and they have, like, they're talking. Kim's like, oh my gosh, they're talking about somebody who can't come in and somebody's gonna fill in and volunteer. They have a schedule, and there is somebody managing all the people that volunteer, because they're not just. I talked to Monica, she used to work at the book sale a lot with Sherry, and she said, well, where are we gonna be? Are we gonna be stuck wherever? You know, they just don't wanna be stuck somewhere. So if they had a space that they could sort these books and put them, and it's not a frustration, because, and also maybe we do have student volunteers from Hamilton. And they're going to do something in town. And then we have some other people that are willing to, but it's like just all kind of scattered.
The space, then like you said, for the people who might need help with technology, you could probably get volunteers who might come in, you know, say, I'll be here on a Tuesday afternoon. to help."
And we do, but we could have more of that.
Yeah.
This was a great thing to build it up. Yeah, it's a community together on the plate. They learn together, and we do together. Connect with others. It's not just a place to get a
Right.
it's a place to learn by connecting with others and,
But there isn't a place to leave the puzzle to do the puzzle, right? I mean, it's up there, it's away. So people don't see that. They don't say, oh, that's a jigsaw puzzle. I can get that down and do that. You need the space to do it. And also participation in government students, National Honor Society students. I've been trying to figure out how to do it. We're working, and getting there, but they only have 10 hours, what they have to do. And I'm trying to figure out how it is that, okay, this maybe 2 kids could work for tech help. And then, so they work through it. And then maybe the last 2 hours that they do, they can teach the next students to do their 10 hours. You know, just could we have this rotating thing? They are, they do, right now. I don't think we have to.
In their courses, you know.
Yes. But we still need to have, we need to have a respectful way. to come here. Part of it. You know, a lot of them depend on what they do. We have a lot of volunteers that do program things like children's program. So that's pretty well established. I do believe Christina, she has been working with the Hamilton College students. And again, once you get it solid, then you can replicate, right? So it's, but where are they? Where is it? Where does Tech Help have? And all of that. So I think the extra space to be able to do that. Like if we were upstairs, it would be easier to hear, right?
Come up with some kind of pamphlet or
Okay.
whatever, which I talked about these ways, and you can go to Lions Club or you can go to different organizations.
PTA.
Oh, it's
a little late. I need to get more information from Joe.
With a line during the huge movie store. Broke the metal. Oh, really? Broke right on. So there's chocolate chips.
Yeah, I was dropped my head and I did a long time. Well, was there a truth that
We do, but they want to have a home base. And right now we kind of have that one and it works okay. It's basically the old work range. So we have that, but it's not perfect because it's on wheels because we know that it's official temporary space because that's going to be under construction. We could invest a little bit and we do. There's kitchen cupboards and so they're using it. Christina's got clay in the cupboards and the paints go in there and they're stored there and they are utilizing that. It's almost like the volunteers that work almost for one of our staff. But we have books up and they do work out of there and it's not bad, but it would be nice if there was a designated space that the shelves were, it's the things that was.
Well, we're working on putting it around.
Right, well, Joan Day did come back while I was here, and probably the first 6 years I was here, she was diligent. And but we do have, I'm not gonna go over names, Christina would be better at that. We have some adults that come with workers that help to they'll clean books and do that sort of thing. And then we do have some others that will shelve the books. It's there's She gets amazing. She works in Utica. That one. And she did work for me. That's the one you're talking about. And I also know Joanne Gates comes in sometimes. And she lives and so she worked in the bookstore when the bookstore was kind of in when it was in that first room in the house, we had, I don't know, they seem to be happier there, but again, it's always been that storage room over here, we put things, we kind of clean things there and sorted. So if it could all be in one designated space, what is the plan? That kept coming up every time, what we need is designated work assembly. Well, it does over time, it doesn't like anywhere near the way it used to. Well, our books are as big a deal. People don't like the clutter, so they will. We sell the same book though. 15 each. People take it home, they read it, they bring it back. They take it home, they read it, and they just want. I don't. Right. So it is okay. And we don't charge an awful lot, but we used to do a huge book sale, but we also shut down our community room for 2 months a year. So that was easier. Yeah, it was
Required by law to sell surplus books.
So we'll keep going with that.
Yes, if we discard them from our system or they're received as a donation, we're required to sell them to help somebody.
And we will. And we do. Community room space. We definitely need that, and that's what this is too. But it is a walkthrough, and then that's the lounge area for adults, and then the adult seating or the seating outside is just a bonus. Can we write them all down? I'm a bad secretary. I don't write it down. Absolutely. Do you? Okay.
So do we need somebody to?
I need to get a hold of Joe again. If you want to, I'm not afraid of that, but.
Example of
Or even if you come up with the facts, like Christina would be able to help you with the Canva and the tripod, but.
You know, this is.
Okay, this is 1.8, what does that? Okay.
I mean, you know, you have to, and you're really not.
How much will it-
But when you say, you know, $49.49, you know, then it makes sense.
The last time we did this, it was, I mean, Yvonne, but in essence, it's kind of like getting a mortgage, right? So we must have had a payment to the bank for a number of years. I would imagine Joe would be able to do that. Bond person would be able to tell us that.
Yeah.
Work on some of the bullets of why we would run the station.
Yeah.
I don't know the detail of like.
If we can.
Still going on.
But we could also, I mean, and even, we could divide that space if it were available and not needed for something else. We could put some roof dividers right along those decorations, even if it weren't. It would be a visual. It wouldn't be a room closed off completely with the ceiling and the whole bit, but we could do something 8 foot high and it would. Yeah. It is.
It's 10:15.
Right. If once a month you see your great grandchildren, that would be so cool. Right, to be able to interact, so it's not that you'd be in there all the time, and they wouldn't necessarily.
And yeah, I think that one of the important points is to be able to do that at home. Fine, that's not everybody. And then as a community, you have to put, have the divide, you know, I can't.
I think it started just briefly, I think it's like, go let my little show, and then we know it's a revive, and then yeah, but it started.
And we will, and you can come in and say, April, I need this, and whatever, and but it would be nice to.
And we all, it's like, we can slow
I will, we should be able to, I think I've talked about it before, I don't know how long. But there's, if you talk to Jamie or anybody who works the information desk, there's frustration, like, what are we gonna do with that second floor? We really need that community room space. And I was like, oh, but we need a place for adults to sit and just hang out and talk and read. And I'm like, you know, you can't do everything, you know, it's just one of those things, it's already, and obviously we have the frustration where we wouldn't be. We wouldn't be doing this, because. You weren't into it?
I had a reverse, you know, if I have to.
I know. I can't do it. I was like, oh, so that is- you know, even let's say New York Sash, you know, does this little TV thing.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody said it's TV, she's like, oh, I saw you on TV. I said, you did? I said, oh, yeah, it's the Boy Scout thing. I said, well, it's a couple years ago. But see, it's a feel good thing that they just rerun. Like the month song.
Well, the month one they do, but.
Well, would be the event, right?
Yes.
And talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
You know, and if we did it as a team, like you have two people, because my brain just empties when somebody's got a microphone from me. I need a PowerPoint, or something, so that I can say focus. Maybe if I just put art in my hand, but if it's radio, it'd be better. But if two of us went, and then, you know,
Yeah, sorry, but when they do the budget, information.
okay.
Would we have a?
We've never done it for our regular operation. And we've never done it for a construction addition. But it doesn't mean, don't know, I've never done a fund. Because I've been here long enough to have done it. And what happened when we did the elevator? Were you invited to speak at anything at Whitesboro Central School that had to do with budget?
But of course, a lot of times go by and the school district is taking them for, you know,
Right.
Yeah, but they have a budget information. I don't know what it is. Meetings and whatever.
We've been kind of under the radar, and our math has never been this big increase. So I don't think anybody's ever, they're like, oh, that's not a big deal. Obviously, cost of living, whatever. So.
And we used to have a lot more people there.
Complaining about the budget, we do it in a Hill, is that? All right. Okay.
So I think that's, I think that's really right. I mean, it's like, I'm going to be the meeting of this, and say, and they can spirit it.
Public service announcement when they have a,
I'm really keeping on talking about, but,
okay. I have done like a mug club and I have done Christmas shopping. They used to ask me, they have asked me to go years. It's the one that is that WTR. WKTV.
watch TV, so I'm not sitting down.
It's like they come in and it'll be on, I'm like, wow. But we also can do, we do have the ability, but they have to be friends with Facebook, information and that. And we do have our website, but again, you have to be wanting to go there. So it's usually an FYI, oh, what are the hours to go there?
But it could also be a place where.
But we should have something.
For information.
We should have like something.
Out there.
Yes. We are, it's what, Instagram. Not Twitter.
Yeah, people to church it, whether they want to. You have to make sure that, yes, send it, that's the thing, and there's a lot of messages in here. Just some notes that we were taking to apply to a lot of different.
And actually, when you pull all that together, it's always good to have, it's all that information, it's good for graphing. You know, and if we had the statistical information, like, I know. And you're like, it's almost like, okay, you need a lesson plan, like reading a book aloud to children, you know, that's good stuff. You know what, like, you know. Which one of the, I can't even think of it. But. But that, you know, it's not, you know, it's a good idea and you don't really always know. So basically, we're at the point where we know it's a good idea, but some statistical information will help us.
The money is going, you know, where there's people like we got people here.
Well, how much is it, like, how many buses is it? You know what I mean? If you look at that in comparison to what is being asked for, I know, right? So it's all kind of at the same time, but it is different.
What do you mean? I know some of stuff. Where did they go to high school? All of that.
Because they can't. Well, you know, you try, right? You can only do so much in first grade. But you try. But it is, it's something that everything is just. I mean, we have. It's a bit first. I am so happy to be at the public library where we have money left over. We can roll it into something and buy something we need.
Yeah.
How frustrating is it to have, oh, you have, so I remember going and emptying my budget lines. And then we got a state discount. It's like, oh, no, now you have to do it again. Like, how many pens do I need? It was like so frustrating. It took so much time. And if I could have just, it wasn't a ton of money. It was probably only like, I don't know, $6,000 or something. I could have rolled that into the next year when I actually needed something for $6,000. And we don't have to. You did. It was so frustrating. Not here. I'm sure they do it in school. We don't, if we end up with, I don't know, do we spend, we have 8% maybe left over? It's hard to tell because then there's all these other things with stragglers, you know, so you don't know.
Something cash, something credit.
Yeah, weird stuff, but that money can go into construction. Where we might need it to be. So, I mean, just interest.
Just interest, yeah. That's all.
There's enough there to people.
Right.
Somebody else.
And I don't know how you would do, I mean, like, smell it, you know. Because you could do different stuff than we can, so that is an account that is interesting, right, to do different stuff. But right now, it's an ample amount of money to do what you need to do. Right, and that's really, all it is. In all honesty, it's tricky, it's just hard to figure out like what you can do, because I know that we must be able to in some way. But maybe it was PTA that bought food and stuff like that in school, so I don't really know. Maybe the principal said, can you pay for this? This you can't.
But the teachers side can. So, quite frankly, almost all the programs we did applied to the same goals as the 2% as they did to my grant, so. You
So
know,
they had to.
I did the program, yeah, and I was in programs that she could afford. Because they didn't have money.
There you go. So you collaborate.
Yeah, so that way, and it was, I don't know, when they knows Janet, really, she was amazing, it was wonderful.
The jury named my
Her name was Janet Julie, and then she left, and, you know, she had taught Clinton, because she was at Clinton when I was there, she was, we knew each other from that. And then, she was the teacher center at Center State, but, you know.
Okay,
Didn't
yeah.
have their own teaching center director. And then she went to, I don't know, teacher center was sort of this, and then she went to the road check program. at Misty for-
Did it? So maybe they just use
But
a
they
great,
ended
the
up with
greater,
no funding, and maybe found fitting for it for a little while.
so now they're just asking.
Yeah, well, the original purpose of it was to college.
Oh, really?
One that was over.
To get the teachers up to snuff here, Microsoft Word, you need to learn this.
Yeah,
and you need
because
to
she was the
learn
only one in the entire development department that was allowed to. Because so many teachers there, and so we all otherwise. So I was there, I wasn't, but, in any case.
Okay, good, so you,
Yeah.
that's right.
Is it anything in your version?
I don't think there was, that was just how Pat asked about the Dunkin' Donuts, really having to do the building.
Well, there's Colin Shaw, like, okay, what are we gonna say about the money? How many Starbucks coffees to the people?
I was gonna say, we think we have that somewhere, it's like based on.
It's 100, we pretty much have 100% assessment, so if we, when we talk to Joe Miller and say it, and the bond person says, okay, this is, so we bond for the, whatever. And they say, okay, the payment back would be this over 20 years or 30 years, or I don't know how long they do that. And then, you know, that's just a formula.
Yeah.
And then when we know what that is, so we need to know that, plus we need to know the operating budget. That kind of thing.
We got a lot of good information. on how
We
it
did, I'm
costs,
tired.
And those are things that will, you know, you look at them and say, oh, yeah, and then you need to find more. That makes sense. That you can,
Thank you.
you know, engage different groups of people.
And that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
We need to find the people who aren't normally here. I mean, goodness, the people that come here drink the Kool-Aid, right?
Making the library for the whole community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So kind of like open houses, we maybe we will do.
Services that some people don't have. Ways to connect and grow.
We do. Come on down and we'll help you.
Start.
Yeah.
fighting and then
Right, because at some point people get to a fixed income and it's not. A lot of times people go, they do the school budget go,
Go as far as one, so.
right? But if we could prove to you, all you really need to do in a year's time for somebody might go, no, or not rent, but check out a DVD. But if you were gonna buy one, like you were gonna buy a book a month, you've covered yourself, right? But I don't know if everybody wants to do that.
Well, there's different
Or
ways to approach it.
would you rent space or what would you have meeting room space? I don't know.
There's always people who don't want to spend time. But like I said,
Yeah, it's like if
a
you
lot
want-
of times, if you get a bunch of people places, one is in the library, you either got a space, you gotta go to a restaurant and get a back room. Right, yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there are different places.
But then there's people too that live in the community that never had children. So I don't, have children, what do I care about the school? Well, but you wanna sell your house, if the school district thinks, then, you know, you're not gonna sell your house.
And it's good for the community because the more educated, the more things are out for you, the more, the less time it costs.
It's true. It is the educational base, of the community. You can't go in the elementary school, you know, you can't get in, because it's good that you can. We don't want everybody to go in, but not everybody, but we can do, I mean, we can have, in theory, we can have a movie every night, you know, but we don't, we have it one, but we don't have the room to show. So no matter what we do, it would be. It could have the potential to be more than it is. Right. We have an appearance now, you know, it's just one of those things we never really. It wouldn't have worked well if we didn't have enough space. Now that we have enough space for people to park, more people can come. Because most of the time when they come, they all live separately. I mean, sometimes two people come together, but rarely you have a lot of people come at the same time.
You were through this library and kids, but you went there, you checked out books, it was quiet and you went home.
Yeah, yes.
It's like, it's libraries are so different.
Yeah, and they need to be. Because people are just, you know, different expectations. Good.
It was good. Sure.
Yeah.
So, Cam, you and I have things to do. Everybody else just has to do the report.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah.
Make sure, so do you need to sign?
That might probably.
Wait till spring. I. It's supported by snow. Yeah.
I wore it down into the first bar and it broke off right there. You tried out.